results. I can't have both, right? So we're going to do what we do. I think we've got Jackie and Josh in the back, right? So welcome this morning. But we're going to do what we do, which is stand up, talk to somebody you haven't talked to yet. I know it's horrible, but stand up and find out something good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is this on?
They'll come to you.
All set up? So it's good for me. I got up and went to the gym again this morning. It's kind of strange. I negotiate with myself in the morning. Like, do I really have to go? You want to go? What are you doing?
Okay, stop telling all those good things and start telling us.
There's like so many good things about it afterwards.
Shut up. Have to do this. I hate that too. What did you learn? I actually learned something good about somebody today. We just don't know what it was. So she's going to do it.
Got his Christmas lights up and his Christmas decorations.
Yeah, Christmas lights are up. That means he didn't like it to freeze out there. That's good. Who else?
Got Paul visiting from Peoria.
Oh, we do have Paul visiting from Peoria. Welcome, Paul, this morning.
Josh is going to the Dominican Republic.
Seriously. If I give you $100, will you bring me back a box of cigars? All right. Good ones or crappy ones?
Megan has some really cute boots.
Are those zebras on the back? No animals were killed in the production of these boots.
Your fashion sense.
What else?
Woo!
Oh my gosh. She's going after Tania.
Yes.
What kind of workout are you doing?
Well, I went to Riley's gym
Uh-huh.
last night.
I heard that.
So, yes, he can't spell my name right either, so. But I told him it's been 18 years for you, so he's got a little work.
At some point, people figure out that they spell their name wrong when nobody can get it right. So, Jackie, did you have something?
Yeah, Dennis made it in today. He said last week it was icy on the roads and he couldn't make it.
See? All of these good things. So, the other good thing is we do have Jackie and Josh here with us. So, come on up and do what you want to do.
You guys have to listen
Ooh,
to
looks
it
like we got the good
first,
stuff
so, before the line.
So we always like try to give some hints, some things just to help everyone. We did pass out what's called a roadmap to your home. This is something that we go over with all of our clients. We go over it a couple different times. The first time is when we meet with them for pre-approval, when we meet with them in person. So many times, everyone likes to do these things virtually, which is awesome. We can do that. So we have started actually sending this out as an attachment in an email if we're not meeting with them. And then we meet with them again at application. That's typically the time that we like to have them come in, make sure that everything is what they're thinking about, loan programs, down payment, cash to close. So what we thought we would do is just kind of, a lot of you I know have like buyer packets that you meet with, and we just thought that this might be something good too. It does say First State Mortgage. It doesn't have our own personal information, but we'd be happy to get that for you if you'd like, or if you just want more copies of these. because it does take you guys into consideration too in the roadmap to your home. So hopefully when you are meeting with the client and they're not pre-approved, you are sending them to meet with the mortgage loan officer first before you go out and show them homes. And so this kind of takes you through, that way they know exactly what programs they're pre-approved for, so you guys know what homes are going to qualify, and then also their purchase price range. And then in step 4, they're going to go home shopping with you guys, submit an offer, and the offer is accepted, hopefully. Then they come back to us, because a lot of the times the customers are just unclear of like, who do I talk to first? And then sometimes they think they don't even have to come back to us after they make the offer. So this just walks them through that the next step is to do the official application. And then what we really wanted to concentrate on was once they make application. This is, and not everyone is clear on this, and we explain this I think every day on the phone or in email to people. So the first step is once the contract is accepted, we submit a loan application and we send it out to them to e-sign, and that has to be done within 3 days of our receiving the application for federal guidelines. Once they e-sign, or while they're e-signing and starting the application, the inspections are happening with you guys. At the same time, we're ordering the appraisal. And the appraisal, just to make sure everyone is clear, we order the appraisal through an appraisal management company. It is randomly selected, so unfortunately not like in the old days we could call up, hey Mike, I need this appraisal, can you go out there tomorrow? It has to be randomly selected for the government requirements. The appraisals are starting to come back a little bit quicker now. They were taking 2 to 3 weeks this summer. Now we're starting to see right around the 2-week mark from the time that we order it. Then their loan goes through processing and underwriting, and we get the loan approval, where typically there are additional conditions that we request from the customer. The reason why we're going through this with you guys is if the customer's going, oh my gosh, Josh just called me and he's asking for 3 more things. I thought I gave him everything. This is standard loan process. So they give us documents at the pre-approval, we update those at the application, and then we get loan approval. And there might be just, hopefully, just a few other things we need that the underwriter requires. Then we send it back for the final underwrite and the clear to close. When we do the clear to close, that's when we do that last minute credit check. So it's a soft check, it doesn't hurt their scores, but we're just making sure that they haven't opened up any new credit or increased their existing credit substantially. So that's when a lot of times they're asking you, hey, can I go out and buy the appliances or do whatever? Once they get clear to close, they're good to go. But until that clear to close, we still might be doing a credit check. So hopefully this helps you answer those questions. And then we send out the documents for the closing documents. They do get 2 different closing disclosures. So again, this is questions that we get every day. So the first one, the government requires us to send it electronically 7 days prior to closing, or what's called a hand delivery, where they have to e-sign or hand sign, send it back 3 days prior to closing, okay? That's their initial closing disclosure, not their final figures. Once we get that, then we send it to the title company, and you guys are sending in numbers, the seller's attorney is sending in numbers to come up with the final closing disclosure. We are still getting those about 1 to 2 days prior to closing, the exact amount they need for their cashier's check or wire, okay? So that's the final closing disclosures, and then we actually have the closing of the home. But I know I get a lot of questions from the realtors. Do you guys have questions or that you get from your clients a lot during the loan process, that some of these things, like, are you all clear on the different steps of the disclosures? Any questions on any of that?
So a big part of this is we are working on some new technology at FSM to keep you automated and updated throughout the process. So we're getting a new CRM, so we're working on new systems and updating technology. So I just met last week with some of our management of what steps you're going to be notified on. So we're going to send you an automated notification when we submit the offer or submit the loan application, when the appraisal is ordered, when we get the appraisal back. Now the big part of that is we'll also review the appraisal and we should send out another email letting you know, value came in at the sufficient value, there's no repairs, anything like that. And then you'll also get a notification when it's approved with conditions, and then our clear to close. So we're going to try to keep you more updated throughout the process. Obviously in the summer and when everyone gets busy, sometimes our notifications do fall off. We try our best, to do our weekly status updates and things like that. But that way, we're keeping you up to date. We've done a lot of research looking at, even though we are the loan professionals, a lot of the clients go back to you with questions. So we're hoping to keep you updated as much as possible so that way you can answer some questions. Obviously the technical questions, you can still push to us, but for whatever reason, the clients always go back to the realtors, it seems like, in a lot of these studies. So that way you're updated and say, yep, this is just your initial closing disclosure, it was just sent out, and we can just answer those quicker if you're getting a phone call. Obviously we want to answer all the questions we can, but if you're the first person of contact, then that makes sense, and we'll try to keep you updated.
And those automations they're automated emails, right?
Yes.
Or automated text
Emails.
So it's not us we do the manual status updates right now each week, so.
Yep, and we're pretty excited because some of this new CRM too is working on the front end. So if you refer us clients and maybe they can't purchase at that time, working on credit, different things like that, it's helping us stay in touch with them as well. We do a very good job of tracking our numbers and referring them back to where we originally got them from. So if you're referring us business, maybe it takes 6, 8, 12 months for them to be able in the process of purchasing. And then we're looking at, okay, well, where did this originally come from? And we're sending them back to them. To you, if you were the person to send us to. So that's really nice. I think we do a very good job on that. Our loan operating system does have a referral section that's entered for the mobile app, but you would probably find it hard to believe the number of people who write realtor. So that is, we try to ask questions and get a personal touch on that.
Any questions on any of that? Dawn?
Can you guys edit this and send it to us via PDF?
We sure can. Definitely.
Very helpful. This is great.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
The whole TRID and the disclosure laws, that was to make it easier for the consumer to understand, and it has created more questions and
Shocker.
I know, so surprising. So, all right, well, good. I'm glad that was helpful. All right, so who would like a nice bottle of wine on a cold night? Hopefully everyone get their names in. Oh, no. Put yours in, Okay.
Danelle.
Oh, how appropriate. All right, well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
But we're getting out.
Hey, Janelle, Jason Strauss at LC. What did I do?
Some people ask me why I wore a suit today. Because I do a lot of team meetings that don't wear suits, right? So I want you to know that because somebody very special did something very, very good. So I figured what better celebrate than a suit. My birthday suit was not going to be allowed.
Oh, no, I don't want to see that.
Tania is officially a capper as of last week?
The 4th.
The 4th. Again, so you know what we do with cappers, right?
The 4th.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh. Well, the hat's not going to go over this hair.
We make them.
Go over that hair, not this hair. Yeah,
Congratulations, here's your chips. This is what you get when you cap. Here's the chips.
chips.
And one other special thing outside of my suit and the chip and the hat is
Megan's homemade salsa.
oh, this also.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. There are so
I thought you were
many.
doing that to
There are
make me
so
mad.
many gifts and so many ways to celebrate at Keller Williams. But we also have Tania's favorite lunch, tacos. They're preparing in the back. Is there a plan around those at all today, Pam?
Around noon, we have regular tacos.
Just show up and serve yourself, or you're gonna fix everybody.
Yourself.
There you go.
Thank you, Pam.
Congratulations. I so bad want to get a black Sharpie and mark out one of these teeth. Sorry, it's just the things I think about. Man, we got some fun coming on Friday, yes?
Yes.
Okay, who wants to talk about it? Because I'm betting there's a few things that we still need to get prepared for it.
Yes, we will be setting up on Thursday afternoon. So if you want to help, I think it starts at 1. And then if you can have your food here, preferably by 10:30, so that we can get it all set up. This year, we're gonna do things a little bit different. We think we're gonna set the food up in Jackie Miller's old office, so that it's a little bit slow, and then have desserts and drinks, I think, in the cafe. We should, our little task force is finalizing the RSVPs, because we have quite a few that are still outstanding. I am guessing that we will have around 100, maybe a little bit over with our people. So, just need to sign up.
Yeah, I have to sign up and I'll send it around, but we still need quite a few things. Stuffing, green bean casserole, extra green bean casseroles, things like that. So take a look and.
It's amazing how the good stuff goes really, really fast, so it is worth having. Usually by the time I get into line, it's like, oh,
Yeah, there's not much left.
that's all gone.
And that's the thing, is some of the dishes are really easy, so if you can triple, quadruple your batch, again, we're feeding around 100 people.
Yeah, don't be shy. This is like one of the most fun and rewarding opportunities of the year. So
Yeah, and you don't want them to go away hungry.
And people do go back for seconds.
Yes.
and you can get yourself stretched out for next week. Other thoughts? Yeah. Shelley's like, I don't need stretched out. All right, so believe it or not, we're like 2 short weeks away from a Christmas party, which makes me a little crazy that it's that quick. But December 6th at 6 o'clock, we're at Anjou. Who's in charge of this? Wants to talk? Nobody's in charge of this. He's just on the slide.
I help with the food, that's it.
It's from 6 to 10. We're going to be down at Anjou. There's going to be an open bar.
For a while.
For a while.
There's some stipulations on that.
Profit share just kicked in, by the way. Did you hear it?
There will be a sign at the bar of what is included. There you go.
That's funny.
And,
Like, whoa.
if you haven't, we're going to do an RSVP, please RSVP me. It is a +1. Just +1. No feeling.
Just
And
seven.
there's a sign-up sheet. You know you're going to go. I'm going to pass this around now. And
Christmas party is fun. So, there we go. I just can't believe it's time.
it's going to be dancing. You did get a DJ, right?
Yes.
Jacob's gonna be dancing.
Jacob's going to be the DJ. That's
I'm
what I
not saying
heard.
the dancing part for me.
Leading the
Just
dancing.
do the DJ part, alright?
Jeff will entertain us.
Jeff is singing.
Who's heard of Bold? Huh. Megan has. She knows she has because she has to promote it. You just did it in Champaign, right?
I did not do it in Champaign.
Oh, I was thinking you did this.
Jackie did, and Jenny.
Ashley, I didn't.
You did. Okay. Tell me about your. Tell me about the leader. You don't remember him. His name is Darren.
Yes,
He's big. Yeah, no, he's less. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not good.
He's not.
Sorry, Darren.
He's awesome. He's transformed my life. And that's big for me to say.
From Bold.
Yes.
Wow. Everything in me wants to press on that, but I'm not going to since we're in this big group.
And he's not just a 7-week trainer. He continues to coach week after week.
Here's what I know about Darren. Thank you for saying that, because I agree with you. I think Darren is among the best. Darren taught the very first business planning clinic I ever went to in Keller Williams. He's an OP, so he has my job in Madison, Wisconsin. He's got several market centers, but he's really, really good. And so now he's a Bold coach. I don't know how long he's been doing Bold, other than we had an opportunity to get him as our instructor, and we're really, really looking forward to it. This is Bold 2.0. So it's not if you're all looking at it going, I've done Bold. Have you done 2.0 yet, Dawn? You did 2.0. Did you ever do the original one?
No.
Have you done them both? Without giving all the secrets away, to give me some sense of what's better. Why would somebody want to go to 2.0 if they'd already been to 1, 5, or 7 times?
I just felt it was completely different. As Jenny said, it was, for me, it was a big change for me.
Yeah.
And I was able to share it's a large transformation.
Awesome. You know what's interesting when we start talking about Bold, and this is not at all what I was anticipating to talk about this morning. When I think of Bold, I think of productivity.
We launched on January 16th, not 13th.
When we talk about Bold, I think of productivity. So how do we go? Average contracts, I think, out of that Champagne class was right around 14 contracts in that 7-week period. So the average agent in Bold wrote 14 contracts during that period, right? So I automatically go to productivity. What did these two gals just talk about? The most impactful thing? Life change. It wasn't productivity. It was the things that they changed in their minds and in their hearts that made the biggest difference in their world, right? So it's just interesting to me that Bold goes both ways.
Which impacts your productivity.
Isn't that something? So I love that conversation, and thank you guys for sharing that. But those are like the simple reasons. This is the gloss over of why should you sign up for Bold January 13th. Go ahead.
Sorry. And also, having been with Darren, he is truly spectacular.
He's all that. I agree.
He really cares about you as an individual.
Yes.
Yeah, some of the difference that you see with Darren that we have probably not experienced with some other coaches is heart. You know, so I do think that he comes at from a position of, man, I just love people and I want what's best for them, which is why I think we identify with them. So that's awesome. I can't wait now. Now I'm signing up. Go ahead, Tania. Darren Kittleson is his name.
Same guy.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear, did I? Yes. Darren Kittleson was the Champagne coach, and he'll be our coach. So if you don't believe these guys' testimony, go ahead and call some Champagne agents and see what they thought of him too. But
and in the next couple weeks,
he's really
going
good.
to call into one of our team meetings, so you'll have the opportunity to see them and ask them questions.
And I'm happy to sit down and talk with anyone if you have any questions or if you want to give me a call.
So it's not just a one-day deal, is it?
It's 7 weeks.
7 weeks, okay.
Yeah. So it's 1 day a week.
Explanation every day.
Say it again.
Can you give me more explanation what Bold is
1 day a week.
for us that don't know?
You want to?
Okay.
Jacob would like to give us an explanation of what Bold is. Who can tell us what Bold is?
I can tell you.
Business objectives.
Life by design.
Business objective life by design. It's all about being intentional about who we are and why we're here. Specifically, it's intentional about a career in real estate, right? Because this is what we've all chosen to say, right? This is how we're going to support our families and become who we were created to be. Anyway, so it goes everywhere from how do you become so productive in real estate? That looks like intentional with our time. It looks like how do we do better lead generation? It looks like how do we take better listings? It looks like how do we handle our buyers? It looks like how do we go through the closing process? What part of real estate does Bold not touch?
have you follow a calendar better.
Oh yeah, follow a calendar better, right? And Jackie's exactly right. It's not just about those systems that we get to be great real estate agents. It's about how do we actually live a life that's by design. So part of schedule is, are you actually home for your family? And I'm not talking about just being home with your family, Megan. I'm talking about being home for your family, right? They're different. Sorry, I'm picking on her.
That's fair.
I know it is. But you get it. Go ahead.
That's all of us in real estate.
No question.
It's being there and being professional and being there and not being on the phone and away.
So here's the thing. There's no reason not to take it. Does anybody know right now that they're going to do it for sure? So there's 10 or 11. What was our commitment?
Our commitment's 35.
35 agents.
From our market center, and then Peoria and Peoria and Springfield. will
So
join us.
this group probably represents a third of the people that will be at Bold, right? So congratulations and good job. Who else do you know from this office that needs to be a part of it? That you know, hey, here's a newer agent or something that we can come alongside and do. Go.
And I highly encourage you to go to the first step. It's free.
Absolutely.
There's no reason not to go to the first step.
Absolutely. At a minimum, I think First Step is one of those. Here's the thing. There is a cost to it. I would challenge you to go see Megan and or Jacob and start to have some conversation about cost. We want to work with you to make it as good experience as we can make. So, right? Got it? Everybody understands Bold's important. Good. Do you understand that family reunion is important? Holy cow, this is super quick too. February 15th through 18th. That's like less than 90 days. Did you know that? Who's waiting to get their plane tickets? Anybody? Everybody got them? Everybody that's going has already got all the reservations done?
This one,
I had to book my stuff.
one thing today.
So yeah, no, seriously, this is just your reminder that hey, it's only 90 days and that stuff goes super fast. Do we have any rooms left? What do we have sitting around?
We have still 4 rooms. Yeah, 4 rooms with double beds.
Yep.
So bunk up.
4 rooms with double bed. So if you want to go and you don't have a room yet or don't have anything, go see Megan or Jacob and we'll get you connected. Yes. Got it? Miss Smurley, how are you?
I'm good.
She's giving me some kind of weird stare, so. All right. There's no end to the fun. Tomorrow morning, BNAR is having their monthly breakfast. I don't know how often those breakfasts are, monthly.
They're every
Well,
other
I'm looking at Danelle like she's the president, but she's like.
I am not.
They're every other month.
Every other month.
Only when you have to induct people, so, we have 2 people that are going to be inducted.
Indeed.
Candace, as a matter of fact, is going to be our superstar standing up there, of course, because Justin's not here. So Candace gets to be the superstar. And so definitely come and support Candace, but also to support the board. This is about how we learn about what's going on, the things that are going to affect our industry in a big way. Not just our industry, Bloomington, right? So this is like home. Questions? Okay. Is our video going out yet? Yeah.
Yes.
It has? All right. I didn't know. So I did a video a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. We talked through just some of the statistics that we've seen year to date and what we're seeing month over month. Obviously, we want to be able to arm you guys with that same conversation for 2 reasons. One is your business is dependent on it, right? Knowing what's going on in the market makes you a local expert. The other thing is, that's really it. We want you to be a local expert. Does that make sense? So, who's feeling anything in the market right now? What are you feeling in your businesses today? Jenny's nodding like there's something going on in her business she's not going to share.
Just the lack of numbers, I guess, for our side.
Lack of numbers for your side.
And by-
Are you talking about your team versus this office, right? So you're feeling it slow down?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else feeling a slowdown? Amy? I felt it. I think I felt it just in like the last week. We had a conversation about it yesterday. It's like just all of a sudden, And then Jesse reminded me, no, you don't work with all these people. So it's okay, right? Didn't you? Who else? Anybody else feeling anything? Great.
You know, you've heard me harp on this before, but you know, this time of year, I think the paradigm with people, especially sellers, is the holidays are coming up. You know, it's probably not a good time for us in the market. You know, we're going to wait till springtime. And I think it's, you know, again, don't mean to repeat myself, but I think it's really important to have the conversation of, you know what, the market is, the interest rates are the lowest they've been in a long time. There's not a better time to showcase your house than during the holidays. You know, if you don't have to move, if you don't want to move during the holidays, you can always negotiate beyond the holidays, the January and February. You know, those kind of conversations, people, if they haven't been on the market for a long time, they don't realize what's really going on. And I think that it's an opportunity to make sure you build your listing inventory. That's what I'm trying to do, going through December, January, February, March, is have those conversations, because that's the thought process of a lot of people this time of year.
No question. So the other reason that this stuff is important to know is so that you have the story down. Because do people come to you with stories all the time? They tell you, they think they know what's going on in the market. So having the story to be able to say, yes, and this is what I see going on in the market. It is different. So they are looking at us to interpret. If I was one of your clients, or if I was in your sphere, or if I ran into you at an open house, what would you tell me about closed units? Year to date, by the way, they're down 10%. What's the story your clients are telling? Come on, someone's got a story.
I don't want my house on the market going into Thanksgiving and Christmas. We had all these showings and no offers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, shoot, the market's down, so it's not like you're having the best year ever, right? What's your story? Paul, what would your story be?
Yeah. Well, no, the script that I would use as far as going onto the market in the wintertime is that actually it's a better time to be a seller on the winter. Reason being is there are obviously a lot less buyers in the marketplace, but there's also a lot less sellers, because a lot of people, like you said, are taking their house off the market because they don't want to deal with moving during the wintertime. So, you know, the chances of actually selling go quite a bit down. And one thing that I know sellers hate to deal with is having, you know, tire kickers coming through, just looking at their house who aren't really interested, which there's actually a lot less of that in the wintertime, because those people that are out shopping, trudging through the snow are going to be a lot more serious about buying. So less showings I set the expectation for, but a lot more serious buyers, and I would expect, you know, an offer of 3 showings.
I think Paul's right on. Do you know what I just heard about Paul? He's going to come over and kick butt in the Bloomington market because he had a story nobody else in this room did. See, right? So Julie, closed units are down 10% for the year, right? That is a big deal. That means we've sold 10% fewer units than we did a year ago. Is that okay? I don't know. Here's what I do know is that it's not necessarily a bad thing. You need to go back through your own numbers and go, where is my business relative to where it was a year ago? I can tell you right now that my business is up in closed units. That means that I've done something different than the market has done. That's not true for everybody. Some people have underperformed the market. This office overall has underperformed the market. We're about 12% down. Now I can come up with 100 reasons, right? Tania called me out on coming up with reasons earlier, right? And she's right to do that. The catch is that I have to now use that data to say what strategies are we going to put into place so that 2020 is going to be different. Not even 2020. What's December look like, right? Because doggone it, we still halfway through. We still got half of November and we got 45 days left. I could still put something pending today and close it between now and the end of the year, right? Check this out. Active inventory, I think, is really an interesting statistic. Year over year, There's 17% less inventory on the market than there was, than 17%. Okay, so 935 units were active for sale a year ago. These were stats for like November 1st or November 7th. They're about the first week of November. Versus 777. Any econ majors in here besides me? This is like my dream stuff, right? So tell me though, what happens when inventory goes down? Price goes up. What's happening in our market? It's not going up. Okay, so what does that mean? So how could pricing generally has an inverse relationship to inventory. How could it have the same relationship? How come as inventory goes down, our prices are flat?
Buyers are going down too.
Our buyers are going down too. Really, the story that it's telling us when you look at this in the bigger context is that there are also fewer buyers. Check this out. Did anybody know that there's 10% fewer closed units? So here's what happens is that our inventory is actually working to equalize itself against the demand in our market. What do you expect will happen because of that? All right, a couple of different things to look at in this. What do you think will happen to the real estate population, realtors?
Oh, I've already noticed a lot have dropped.
A lot have dropped.
Yeah.
You don't happen to have percentages or numbers on that. That's fine. So I agree. A lot have dropped, and my guess is that if we go and have Diane run those numbers for the board, we're going to see that the board count has reduced. The agent count in this office has gone from, don't quote me, 85-ish a year ago. We're about 73 today, and we're really doing the same amount of business. Right, so it's kind of the same thing. What does that mean for you as an individual agent?
Less competition.
There's less competition for sure. Fewer buyers, and there's less competition, which means, do you hear opportunity in this? We talk about getting your unfair share, right? So there is, without a doubt. And I'm going to use the next 45 days specifically to look at and go, I haven't done this for a while, or I haven't even thought about this for a while. This is my ad lib part. Anybody know what that is? It's a, let's see, what goes up at the top? 1, 2, 3, 5. I don't know how these all go. Now, does anybody know what this is? It's a calendar. It's exactly right. These are months. January, February, March. Right? Does anybody know what this is?
Pro time. Winter.
Pro time. What's pro time, Seth?
Pro time's when the pros see the opportunity and get it.
This is when the pros step up, right? Because what happens is all the amateurs slow down this time of year. Do you know why? Holy crap, there's a lot of stuff going on. And you know what? Yeah, it's like harvest time, so I get to go, oh shoot, man, I had a good year. I made enough money that I can go do these things. I got Thanksgiving coming up. I want to make sure that I go Christmas shopping. Life takes over. Kids are back in school. Holy cow, my kids have a lot going on, right? And I know yours do too, right? But it's play, it's volleyball, it's diving, it doesn't end. So there's no end to the distraction of mine unless I'm a pro. How many pro athletes are in the room besides Jeff? Oh, Tania is kind of. How much time does a pro athlete get to take off? Pro athletes don't get to take any time off, right? Because if they're going to be competitive for the following season, they have to work in the off season. This is our off season right now. So we start talking about, okay, our inventory's down, our agent count is down. Means we have to go out there and do this. In fact, when we know seasonally the market's going to be down, now's the time that we get to step up and go do. There's a reason we're bringing you Bold in January, right? That's not by accident. So, but your pro time really starts right now. The opportunity probably is more today than it is January 15th. right? Because Paul's already thinking about Thanksgiving and not working tomorrow, right? I'm gonna pick on Paul all morning, right? Okay, closed units per month. This is just a faster indicator for me, right? So we look at closed units over the year and we go, okay, or active inventory. We looked at the first one, closed units. Over the year, this one, every month. You gotta know right now, this starts to get into a seller conversation for me. How many? Nobody sells their house in November. Nobody sells their house in December. Really? Do you know how many went for sale? Do you know how many sold last month? 271 houses sold last month. What do you do when a seller, what's your conversation around these two? Actually, there's fewer. Obviously, this is down 11%. No different where the market's trending. But what's your conversation? What does this set up for you? It's right on the tip of the
Yeah, well, I mean, just Jack Bates all is resonating in my head right now. Just that it doesn't matter what type of market it is. If it's up or down, it's the market, right? I'm going to operate in the market that we have, and it's time to double down our activities.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter if it's up or down.
It's fair. Time to double down the opportunities. I love that Seth brought up Jack's name. That's a name that I haven't heard about for a long time. But holy cow, do we learn a lot from each other. I mean, the importance of having Jack in this office and having the things that he shared when he was here, they're still within us. That's just a quick side note to say, hey, don't be hesitant to share this stuff, because I promise you somebody's taking something from it and they're going to do something with it. My script, right, for a seller or a would-be seller right now is that, oh, no, hey, it really is a good time. Did you know that 271 houses sold last month? Really, 271? Does that sound like a big number? Don't forget, they don't know about this 304. Okay? This sounds like a big number.
I don't think sellers are going to care either. They don't know, they don't know what they don't know. So even like 304, 271, they're going to think people either think
Absolutely.
1,000 homes sell a month in Bloomington or 10.
Absolutely.
The average seller doesn't know.
All right. Somebody come up with a price reduction script for me around 271. Anybody have a listing they need to sell? I have a listing that's $500,000 and nobody's shown it for 30 days. I know that 271 houses sold last month. What do you tell my seller? Mr. Seller, I just want you to know that it's not true. The houses are not selling in Bloomington Normal. They are. In fact, 271 sold last month. The problem is your house didn't sell, which tells me it might be overpriced. And if we got our price correct, it's likely that one of those 271 buyers would be yours. Buyer contracts. Seth is as perplexed as I am over this one. Buyer contracts. Up 11% in the month of October. So don't read into this year over year, right? Just for the month of October. A year ago in October, we wrote 187. This year, we wrote 207. Talk to me.
We're training our newer agents better. I still don't do it on a regular basis. Talking about buyer contracts, right?
Yeah, the market.
No. We're talking about
The market overall.
Oh, okay. The market overall, okay.
Yeah, the market overall. There were.
Focus on a different stat.
A year ago, we wrote 187 contracts. This year, we wrote 207. Why did that increase when the rest of the market is doing this?
Well, that's written, not closed.
It's written, that's correct. So these are pending today.
Versus the last slide, which was closed. So those would close in December or January.
Or people are starting to see that homes are becoming of value because the prices haven't gone up when everything else has come down. And now they're seeing, oh, okay, maybe we do have lower interest rates.
Demand is changing.
Yeah, right.
Marcelo, what did you say?
I said that means that the market's starting to pick back up again. It was down last month, but now we're having an increase in contracts written.
I think
It's
people
spiking
waited
up. It might
longer.
not be lasting, but it's spiking back up.
Like people waited longer, like people that normally buy in
you know, the summer before school starts or whatever, they couldn't find a good enough deal or whatever, now they found a good deal.
There's 100 reasons, right? What's your script? What script do you write out of this? It's the story that you're going to tell.
We're looking for a buyer. If you have buyers that are buyers out there just kind of holding tight, hey, look, you look missed out on all these opportunities, and so we've got to be ready to go when these other houses are coming on the market. You need to be pre-approved. You got to have your docs in a row.
Absolutely. I love the buyer script, right? Where you go, hey, first of all, you got to know our inventory is 17% less than it was a year ago. So that means when our buyer traffic ticks up, you better be ready to get off your butt and make something happen. Go.
So that slide or something like that would be good to keep an idea, like a report to run and just send your buyers no matter what it is, but like how many homes are going pending every week or whatnot. Well, we had people that even came early to buy homes in October that weren't supposed to be here yet because everything they liked online was just disappearing day after day. So they bought a house quicker than they would have just for that. So that's something to send your buyers just to keep, oh, we got 20 minutes.
Even setting expectations, right? You're going to wait for the perfect house, all those kind of things, right? It's probably still not going to happen. Is that a fun script? Just for fun. I went through, so I put these together November 7th, so this was last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, but through the first 7 days, what I did was took all of November of 2018, and let's just call it 100 units, I don't know what it was. As of November 7th, we had written 31 contracts, or we had written 31 contracts in the first 31% of the contracts for the month in the first 7 days. So what I looked at that quick glance was, hey, it looks like November's off to a rocking start, and we're going to kill it, right? I mean, I didn't rerun that number today, but there's a possibility that November will turn out just like October in terms of an up month for buyer contracts. What's that tell you about where the market's heading?
Everybody wanted to close and get in before Christmas.
Maybe.
It's a great opportunity for sellers that have good conditioned homes. You can stage them up a little bit, get them painted, and they'll sell.
Yeah.
Ready for the
And
holiday.
you might actually grab an extra 5% because of the lack of inventory.
Right? This is our market share, this is not ours, this is your market share opportunity, right? So this is how you go get more than your fair share, is that you know this stuff is out there, and you step it up and you go, okay, what am I gonna go do to cultivate those buyers? What am I gonna go do to get my listings positioned so that those buyers that are showing up, there are buyers showing up, I hope this is proof, are going to buy my listing when that time comes. Again, it's not about me, it's about my seller. This is how I fulfill his dreams and needs. Thoughts? I looked back in terms of this buyer traffic, and you know, there's about 2 months of increase. September was an increase too, year over year, in terms of buyer contracts. It's not enough yet for me to say, hey, there's a trend. You know, traditionally we'll use 90 months or 3 months as a trend. 90 months, thank you. 90 days or 3 months. So really though, if we can look at it and go September, October, and depending on how November picks up, we might look at it and say there's a trend there. Seasonality is going to play into this somewhere for us for sure. And it doesn't have to play into us. This is our challenge to go, what are we going to do different today? How are you going to use this information to talk to your buyers and sellers to get the results that you need to get? They need to get. Thoughts, comments, ahas? None? Can't help me, is that what you said? All right. Our special guest, Leah, is sitting in the back. Go ahead, Danelle.
If you have somebody who is really just pushing back of putting their house on the market during the holiday, you can also encourage them to put it in the private listing network. So that way, it's not necessarily, you know, it's still going to get them a little bit of exposure, and then, get it on.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people, if anything, at the latest, I want you on after the first of the year, because as long as our weather is good.
Absolutely.
And you are priced right and you show well, you will sell.
I want to challenge everybody in this room too, right? If you have a buyer, before you send out that email that says, I'm looking for, please go look in the private listing network. I've had 2 properties in there and we get these calls randomly and go, oh, I didn't even know it was in there. Okay, just doing what we're supposed to do. So anyway, just use that as a good resource. I'm not sure there's a ton in there right now, but
There's actually like 18, I just looked yesterday, so.
didn't know doing her job, see? That's what good agents do.
We're gonna give away $500 to someone in this room next week.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So, we have, I think 4 or 5 people entered to win that so far. Just need to get a quote from me between now and next Tuesday. It's nice Black Friday shopping room.
Right.
If I already have country.
Or bold, no doubt.
I get another quote.
I'm sure you don't have any clients at work.
Well.
Marcella, does it work? What?
Marcelo won $1,000.
Yeah, that's huge,
And
right?
he's in to win another 500, so.
No more quotes.
He might have to give that $1,000 to me though.
Continue.
He's starting to squirm over there a little bit.
Drinking the wine already.
All right, what do you got?